All right, here we are, Canada Throws Podcast, Season 2, Episode 5. I am just back from Drummondville, Quebec, joined as always with James Forbes, who was absent this weekend because of a wrist/thumb injury. James, did you happen to catch much action this weekend on the live stream?
Yeah, caught some of the live stream. I was kind of out and about a little bit too, so I was just trying to follow along with some of the brackets on FanZone. Looked like it was a pretty good crowd and definitely a lot of good games taking place there in Drummondville.
Yeah, it's always a good crowd there, eh? I mean, you remember from last year, the Quebecers definitely support their own. They stick. I even noticed in the pro singles on Saturday night that a lot of people stuck around to watch.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the same last year. I know for us, we weren't coming back home till Monday, so we stayed around and watched a little bit on Sunday night with singles, and it still had a good crowd all the way to the end watching the finals there. So. They
Yeah, it's,
always uh they always support the big events like that.
yeah, and we also had a big contingent from Newfoundland, so they were obviously getting rowdy, supporting their own
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
Yeah,
always the case with those guys.
yeah, it was pretty fun to watch. So we had I would say we had some bounce back performances, some breakout performances, some players that obviously we don't know that had great weekends, as well as players that maybe haven't played up to expectations so far this season, but definitely came out strong. And I'm just gonna right off the hop go with my buddy Nyan Shaw. He'd he was struggling this year in the pro division. He had tough performances in singles in both Calgary and Niagara Falls, and he made a bag change early this weekend and started throwing, a non-carpet bag, a fast bag, just worrying about sliding the bag in the hole. And next thing you know, it just started working for him, right? The bags were all going in. There was a point about 5.5 games into the doubles rounders where he had the highest PPR in the building,
Nice.
9.7 through 5.5 games. He finished the 6 games with like a 9.35, I think, somewhere right around there, which was, super elite. Him and Mitch finished third in the swap. He ended up, him and Finley, fifth pro doubles, and then Nyan ended up getting eighth in pro singles after knocking off Gunn, Halford, and Greg Phillips, then Peter Gunn, then Craig Halford. Then he ran into Carl and Francis. Both those games were super close, but sometimes that's all it takes, eh? Just a bit of a bag change, get back to your roots, maybe.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just lose your way a little bit. Just take something to get it back, whether it be working on a certain shot in airmail or perfecting that block, or like you said with Nyan, maybe just trying to run the hole a little bit more
Yeah,
and finding a bag that does that. At the big events, the conditions dictate a lot on how you need to play. I've always found when we go to St. John's, the boards play really slow and sticky. It's normally a little bit warmer time of the year. We play in a curling club and it's humid,
that's right.
so they can get a little sticky. And some of the other buildings play a little faster. Not any different than going and playing any regional or league nights. You're going to find that sometimes the boards are sticky or play fast. So I think it's if you can adapt and get comfortable going in, that kind of helps too. So Nia making a bag switch, obviously, it sounds like it helped him a lot this weekend.
Yeah, and that mental game, right? So he was, in his own head beforehand, and I mean, what really led to the bag switch was that one of his bags got a hole in it, and a bead was coming out, and he's like, oh, I can't throw this now,
Yeah.
and he was throwing great with Mitch's bags in the swap. And those are the same bags he threw with Finley and double, so he just kept running with those same bags.
Yeah, like sometimes you just get comfortable with a certain set of bags or a speed or a material at an event and it just works. Like most of the times when we're talking about this, you need to be good for small stretches of time in an event like that. You can
Yeah.
have one good day could be huge. You could be really good in pro doubles and then open singles in the afternoon, or you just, you find a groove like we talk about, there's so much parity now in play that anyone could, show up and win games. So, just getting in that groove and finding whatever works for you on a certain weekend is all it takes to get some wins.
Yeah, and having that confidence, because even, talking to him throughout the weekend, and he always thought, okay, I'm playing great right now. When are the wheels going to fall off? Because, his
Yeah.
last few tournaments were always kind of, everything's going good, and then it goes to shit. And he said, I just kept throwing the bag in the hole and the wheels never came off. Like, it was just
Yeah.
really, and then that weekend confidence is going to just lead, on to the next event, on to the next weekend, into his league nights. I think having those big weekends where your confidence level can get boosted helps with your season. It's so mental, right?
Yeah. I find I struggled before a lot with like playing well but still losing and thinking that I lost because I threw poorly. Sometimes at this level, the higher levels, you just lose because people threw better.
Yeah.
It's not that you threw bad, people
Mm-hmm.
just threw better. Like
Mm-hmm.
someone pops off for a 10-5, what are you going to do?
That's
So
right.
I try to take a step back after losses sometimes and say, okay, what went wrong? Oh, they played really good. Did I miss a few shots here or there? Sure. What did I do well? Let's keep doing that. So I think reflecting on games and just being honest about your play probably can go a long way. So if Nyan was struggling finding the hole a little bit or working that slide shot,
That's right.
going to a faster bag is definitely going to help that. It's going to be a little softer around the hole and it's going to find its way to the hole a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Turned into results. It was great. I think we also had a couple of bounce back performances by some veteran pros. And I'm saying bounce back. It's not like they were having bad seasons, but we just hadn't seen them in the finals as much as we're used to. And that's Dion Kuz and Brandon Brown.
Right.
Dion's run in singles was absolutely clinical. I mean, he is methodical. He just, takes his time in between shots. Some would say there could be the odd shot clock violation, but no one's called for a ref. Except Matt was telling me that in Newfoundland last year, Brady Foster did. And Matt also said that it didn't make a difference. He just sped up a little bit and just kept running the hole. And that's what I find watching Dion is that it is super clinical. It's just, down the center. He'll bang the airmails if he has to, but you put up a block, he's going to just try to run right through it, try to make you miss, and then just keep putting the bags in the hole. And that's what he did. And I mean, he took Brandon down. It was him and Brandon, an all Team Octane final. Took him down. Great match. And then him and Brandon also finished second in pro doubles to a rookie pro team made up of two seniors, Paul Vandendam and Scott Burns.
Yeah, I think it was important for Brandon and Dion to have a good showing. I think after seeing some of the results so far with T2 and Bebo being so strong, and
Yeah.
then Delaire got the win last time over Dion and Niagara.
Yeah.
I think it's just important like for them to get a win. I'm not saying that their confidence is ever going to waver because they know they're really strong players, but I mean at some point, it's really essentially it's a pretty short season. You get 4 events,
Yeah. Yeah.
so if you haven't major damage in the first two and you go to your third one, if they maybe weren't as strong this one, who knows if they get a win at all this year. But yeah, I agree. I think those two needed to show up, and they did. And realistically, I think they're two of the best players in Canada and have been for a while.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. They have been, right? And so, I mean, Matt released the pro standings. There, I mean, there's been a bit of a shakeup. The top three stayed the same. T2, Bebo, Brown, but Dion, with his win and his second place, moved into fourth place there. And I mean, I can't say anyone would be surprised. I mean, those players are probably the four best players in Canada, right?
Yeah. Like we said earlier, though, I think with the pro division, like anyone can beat anyone It just who's on that day, and you could have a bad 5 minutes and it could cost you a loss in the pro division. So those four are definitely at the top of the list, I think, for players in Canada right now. T2 and Bebo definitely have shown that over the course of the events, and like we just said, Brandon and Dion have been two of the best players for a number of years here in Canada.
Yeah, and you look at those top players, right? And you look what they did this weekend, and it's just, I mean, we can say there's what I mean for a pro player there would be 5 major events. I'll call the swap a major event, the bracket of the swap. So you have the bracket of the swap. You got pro singles, pro doubles, open singles, right? We got 5 events. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have a guy like Will. He won the swap. Him and Sam finished second in open doubles. They beat Colin and his dad. Sam finished fifth in open singles with Brandon also finishing fifth. Those were the high Canadians. We just look at those top 4 players, and they're littered across the podiums or the top 5s of all the events, right? They managed to stay consistent for the whole weekend.
Yeah, so I think that, like we just said, these guys are the top, and the consistency comes with being a top player like that. They've shown it all throughout the whole season in the first opens, going even into last season with some of their performances. So I think that they're the best players, but they're also the most consistent players, and that's why they sit on top of the pro standings right now, right? So they've shown up now to 3 events, and they've been the top players. If you're 1, 2, 3, and 4 at this point, you've been the best players in Canada so far.
Yeah. No, I was impressed with a lot of play this weekend, and and I mean not just from those top guys. I think Carl and Guillaume had a decent weekend. Carl finished 5th in pro singles, and then him and Guillaume also finished 4th in open doubles. They lost to Colin and his dad for a chance to go play Sam and Will. That's
Right.
a top 4 in open doubles out of 135 teams is fantastic.
Yeah, I think for them, again, consistent players, they've been strong for a while. Carl's definitely looked at as one of the top players, and he's always kind of brought Tremblay along with him. Not that Tremblay isn't strong himself. He had a couple great performances last year as an elite player too.
That's
so
right.
I think at the start of the season, a lot of people would have predicted that they would be one of the top pro teams for sure.
Yeah.
I think they're, I guess maybe are they in the kind of Brandon and Dion spot now where they kind of need a, strong talent, but are they looking for that win to really solidify themselves? Are they looking for a big win to, bump themselves up in the pro standings? I imagine they're probably fairly high up there. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it yet, but maybe there's 2 guys there going into St. John's here that are definitely looking to get a win.
I mean, Carl is. Guillaume's not. I think he is struggling a bit this season. You can see that in his singles events. He's definitely not having the showings that he had last year. And I mean, there could be a number of reasons why. Fighting the bags, running into tough opponents. It's not an easy bracket. There's absolutely no easy games.
Especially in pro singles, because you get one, and then if you lose, you're down to the stack, right? So you could play really well, lose a game, and you're fighting for 25th place.
Yeah.
Just like that, right? So pro singles is definitely a lot tougher. Pro doubles, you get the advantage of a double knockout. But yeah, both those guys can throw, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out here at the end. We talked about the requalification, so it's probably a process and standings that everyone's now looking at to see, if they have a crack at it going into the last Open and then obviously Nationals. But it's that time of the year where you're probably going to start checking where you're at.
Yeah, and I mean, one good event can definitely propel you up those standings, right? Like we'll go back.
That was me. Like last year,
Yeah.
I played well at Nationals.
Yeah.
and I got myself back into requalification off pro points, and it was solely based on I had a really good national. I think I finished 7th in singles.
Yeah.
I think we might have went 2-2 in doubles, and we
Right.
were kind of in that same 7 or 8 spot.
Yeah.
So having a decent weekend like that got me from being 20th or 21st all the way up to 9th overall.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that goes back to what we've said all along. You play good one. If you can string together a bunch of good games, if you can stay hot for the course of a day or the course of a couple of days, it definitely has a chance to improve your standing in whatever it is, the pro standings or the open standings, whatever it may be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Nine was in 29th going in to this event, and he's in 19th now. And
Yeah.
being in that top 20 even is a huge thing because you get the chance to have that first round bye in pro singles. So if we have 42 players in pro singles, the bracket that's a 64 person bracket, which means that the top 22 will go straight into that second side. Which when it's a single elimination stack, it's huge.
Yeah.
Because you already have a win. You can't be in the lowest stack right off the hop.
Right.
And it's all those little things like him. As soon as he won his first game, that was his big thing. Just like he can't be in that stack now, he could finish as high as 17th. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, especially like I said earlier, the pro singles is super tough with being a single stack. I think it would be interesting to see what the players think of that at the end of the year. I don't know if it's necessarily the best format, but it is the format chosen for this season. But the single elim stack for pro singles definitely puts the heat on right away.
Yeah.
So there's no messing around. There's no feeling it out, and your bag selection better be correct when you're going to line up on game one. So
yeah, well, I mean, a first round matchup was Dion and Simone Dallaire. I mean, because Simone's a qualifier, obviously, so his points don't carry over, right? He has to
right,
requalify,
yep.
so he'll be at the bottom again. But that I mean, was that not the final in Niagara Falls?
Yeah, that was the final of pro singles. Yeah,
so there we go, right?
yeah.
First round matchup. And obviously Simone lost, and then he didn't lose another one in the bracket. Or sorry, he might have won it. I think he won his first one. His second game
Was Dion
was against Dion, but that was Dion's first game.
right
So
playing?
Yeah. So I mean, Simon still finished 17th or whatever, which is pretty respectable. But yeah, I mean, when you're a qualifier, it's straight into the fire because you're going to get one of those top seeds right off the hop.
Yeah, definitely makes it tougher being a qualifier, but for the qualifiers there, obviously if you're into that, you're chasing to be a pro next year. So you've already played really well in the tournament to get in on the pro qualifier, and then you're lining up in your pro events and hoping for the best.
Yeah, we had so we had Simon and Greg both qualified for the third time, and then Francis also qualified for a second time. So the fight for the two elite pro spots would be between those three guys. I mean, Francis would have to. I mean, obviously the first two already have their three, so they would just have to manage to get through the gauntlet at nationals to get into the pro field. But then you also have Francis, who could. I mean, he's going to St. John's. There's that group of players from Quebec that have traveled to all the opens this year. He'll be there. He could qualify a third time and maybe be challenging. Perhaps not Simon because obviously with a win he's going to be ahead of Greg. But I mean, with a good showing, he could definitely challenge Greg for that second spot. It could be super interesting. I mean, guaranteed those two spots are going to Quebecers, same as they did last season. But just which two will it be?
Yeah, I think it's awfully tough for someone to catch. I would believe that Dallaire would be in at this point, probably. He's got to win.
Yeah.
It's kind of like last year with Tremblay. They had that doubles win and it right off the jump, and it kind of solidified that spot. But Greg Phillips has been in 3 times Him and Ashton Bennett actually had a couple wins in doubles too,
Yeah,
right?
they
So,
did, yeah.
Greg Phillips is, pretty well up in the standings. I guess the other part of it is anybody that hasn't qualified yet, they get one more crack in St. John's to qualify and maybe potentially get in on some of the other qualifying. I don't know what you would use the word.
Yeah, criteria. Yeah,
The
no, for sure.
criteria,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they definitely could get in through the
Open points
open
or
points. Yeah,
any of that stuff. Being elite or a pro kind of gives you the first jump on that before it opens up to the list of where anyone can qualify, elite, pro, or
that's right.
non status players. So the three guys we mentioned have obviously already qualified in pro and already have their elite status, but going into Newfoundland, everyone gets one more crack to try to get their elite status and maybe have a different avenue of getting their pro card for next season.
Yeah, because we'll definitely see some Newfoundlanders that didn't travel to any of the other opens this season. There, trying to qualify. So someone else could pop up. A TJ Vincent, a Adam Knoll. The list goes on.
Yeah.
Who stuck out for you this weekend?
Well, I had a couple of those guys like you had mentioned, Brandon and Dion. We just talked a little bit about Greg Phillips and Ashton Bennett making a run. Michelle Hunter had a
Yeah,
pretty good weekend, it seemed. She had a good run with Dallaire in doubles and pro doubles. I think she was top 5 in women's too in the women's tournament. So it looked like Michelle kind of had a bounce back weekend. And then Lana and Crystal again at the top of the women's standings.
yeah.
I mean, same old stuff. But again, I think it's just solidifying that those two right now are probably the best two women players in Canada.
Yeah,
So
I
good
think so.
job to
I would
them.
think so.
But yeah, I mean, that's who I have. Yeah, those are the 8 people I had listed here. So again, I just want to give a shout out to Vandendam and Scotty Barnes too for the pro doubles win. I don't think anyone really is surprised that a team like that could win, but it's their first pro win, and obviously they shot really well to beat the teams that they did and make the run that you have to make to win a pro doubles event.
Yeah, and then I mean they won it undefeated as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
So
agree. I wouldn't say I was surprised. I mean, I definitely, not me or the other 4 people that choose top 5s for the ACL Canada socials, had them in the top 5. So a surprise, no, but I think maybe they put some more respect on their names with that win.
I think both of those guys have been really consistent. Paul kind of popped up on the scene last year, but Scooter's been around for a bit and playing, and he's got some senior wins at different levels and stuff like that. So he's been a proven player. Paul was the first selection in the draft this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously he was seen to have talent. He went in. Where did they play last year? Germany. I'm lost. I get them mixed up.
Germany, yeah.
Yeah, so he was on Team Canada for that.
Yeah.
So obviously he had some good things going for him, but again, not surprised to see it win. Nice to see them win, but I don't think anyone was surprised. Both those guys can really shoot.
Yeah, I mean Paul also had a second place in seniors.
And seniors,
Weekend,
yeah.
Scotty didn't have. I mean, Scotty has been the king of seniors over the past few seasons, but didn't have a great showing. He was saving it.
Yeah, just saved it for doubles. Fine, I'll just win pro doubles, guys.
That's right. Yeah, no, you know what? I had Mitch on my list too. Mitch had a fantastic weekend. Starting Friday night with that 3rd place in swap with Nyan, and then just carried it right through. And then her and Simon, obviously, with the 3rd in pro doubles, she was throwing lights out. It seemed like the Octane Energy was the bag of the weekend. You looked at the boards and who was winning, and that was the bag that seemed to be, I mean, pro doubles, that was an Octane Energy.
That's what is that, a 6'9"? I'm not.
Yeah, the Energy is a 6'8".
Not carpet, right?
Non-carpet, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
just
gonna move. It's gonna
yeah,
move. Could be
just
drippy around the hole.
that's it, man. Just slide her in the hole.
No block and roll with those bad boys.
No, exactly. No need to even worry about it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
But yeah,
they're
look, Octane had a good weekend. Like maybe let's talk about them for a sec. But they look like the guys from Octanes really showed up. Like we've already talked about Dion and Brandon. Van Dam and Scooter looked like they were throwing Octanes and doubles as well. Mitch having a good weekend. So looks
yeah.
like Octane had a good weekend at the Drummondville Open.
Yeah, I mean, Nyan Shaw also threw octanes all weekend.
Ooh, okay.
Woo!
Okay.
And I have the pictures to prove it.
So I think I've seen one of them.
Yeah, they're plastered all online.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And, I mean, it's not a secret that Nyan has made a play on words with the Octane name for years now. So it was something this weekend to hear him chanting Octane, Octane, right in front of Matt and Sean. Hey, when something's working for you, you're just super happy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really thrown Octane too much. I throw it once in a while in league because there's a lot of players in league that have them. I think with anything, I think if you can get comfortable with the bag, it's going to work. Like
Yeah.
it's that simple. What you get comfortable with or what you're feeling good with at a certain time, whatever goes in the hole, whatever works, just keep chucking it.
Yeah, no, I was super happy for him. I was super happy for him and Mitch, Brandon and Dion. Those, I love seeing good performances, but for those four, I think it was a great weekend.
Yeah, I think we had another good weekend from a youngster.
Go on.
Canada throws youngster. How do you
Oh,
feel about
yeah.
that?
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, so Team Canada Throws welcomed our newest member this week, young Maddie Shea, 16-year-old, plays out of Nines clubs, Cannington and Lindsay. She's a heck of a player. Won provincials in Lindsay.
Yeah.
Follows that up with an open win. Immediately on the Monday, bumped up to competitive. Tuesday becomes a member of Team Canada Throws. It was a busy weekend and / week for her.
Yeah. I've seen her play a little bit in Lindsay, and she can definitely throw the bag. So good to see a junior stepping up like that. Like in Lindsay, we had Jude and Maddie both get wins as the junior program there.
Yeah.
And then having a junior win at an Open. Is that the first that we've had a junior win a division at a Canada Open?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. I mean, Gage never won a division at an open. Yeah,
Do you know who won novice in Niagara? Was it McNay? Youngster McNay?
I'm not sure.
Younger, yeah, the son? I can't remember.
Drew.
Drew McNay?
I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. I don't think it was. I think it was.
Someone else? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Novice is tough, eh? Because especially in Quebec, you got no one that has PPRs, so you don't even know if they're in the right division. Although, I mean, you look at the novice, and it was all. I mean, every novice player can throw a game in the eights, and
Yeah.
then also throw a game in the fours. So
Yeah.
that's what we saw.
That makes sense for the novice division.
Yeah, so Maddie had to. She was in the queen seat. She got beat the first game, and Maddie's a lot like Jude this way, so she hates having her parents watch. So Tammy and Steve got shooed away a bunch of times, and Nyan posted a video online, and he's videoing Steve Shea, Maddie's dad, and he's hiding behind the director's tent, and he's peeking through the like the flap and the pole, so he can watch Maddie play without her seeing.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, Jude's the same. He shoos me away right away. There is no interest in having me watch, and except, I mean, in the finals, he did let me.
Yeah.
Maddie and Lindsay did not let her parents. She told them to go home. Yeah,
I
they
like it.
watched. They watched from home.
Serious
Yeah,
business.
that's right. Yeah, so she's super pumped to be a part of the team, and I mean, we have big things planned. We're gonna have our own booth set up in Ottawa. We'll be selling, our Octane Team Canada Throws bags. We'll have hoodies, jerseys, the like, and a spot for the team to chill. I think having a team and what is mostly an individual or a duo sport, it definitely adds something to it. And I saw that this weekend, with Team Octane, and I'd like to continue that with, Team Canada Throws.
Yeah, I think at any of the big events, it's nice to have people rooting for you. Sometimes it's big, people get lost in the shuffle, people are coming and going. You show up to a big event, it's nice to have people there with you, whether it be, you watching your club players play if they're out there, or your club players are supporting each other, or guys that you play with, or if you share a bag sponsor with somebody, you're rooting for your guys at whatever that bag sponsor is. I think it definitely goes a long ways at those big events, having someone get out there and kind of cheer you on. So good on Maddie for picking up that W, and glad she's part of Team Canada Throws.
Yeah, man, me too. Me too. She's definitely going to be a good addition. I'm looking forward to see how she handles herself in the next event. But she plays out of those clubs. They have, three really good players. I mean, not just three really good players, but they have three ACL Canada pros with Geoff Desjardins and Chris Shire, along with Nyan. So she has super challenging opponents a lot of the time. So her game is just going to keep growing. And I mean, that's not even counting like Chris Stewart and the Justin Rise and Daniel Shire, right?
Yeah, lots of good players there.
That's right. Yeah, no, that was one of the best things of the weekend was watching these young players play. We had there was a bunch of young Quebec kids throwing bags. Young Poulin, 6 years old, throwing roll bags. His partner in doubles was a young girl. I didn't catch her name, and she must have been similar age to Jude. Lots of good juniors. Obviously, Ludovic was there doing his thing. Oh, can't believe I almost forgot this one. But Julian Malowin, his dad is Danny. They finished, I think, 5th in Tier 1 doubles. And even Maddie and Mason Stewart, like Chris Stewart's son, Mason, they finished 4th in Tier 2 doubles. The kids.
The junior game's coming along here. Yeah.
It's coming along. And you know what? We have a lot of people to thank for it, but there are a lot of people that, or not a lot, a few people that kind of spearheaded the junior stuff, and then it kind of grew from there. And I mean that's usually what it takes, is one person to start it. And I'm going to give a huge shout out to Clayton McMillan here, with him starting that junior program in that area, putting it in the high schools, having the free junior nights. And maybe other clubs saw that, or maybe they didn't and did it on their own. But now more clubs are doing that, right? John Burr is doing a fantastic job in Delhi.
Yeah.
Now you see a lot of the clubs offering free juniors. James Finley and Tiny's doing that now too. Free juniors. I've started a small 6-week introduction to cornhole junior program as well, and it's just Lynn's doing a free juniors. It's just really now it's going to start to really blossom the more of these kids we get in. As they start beating us, I have a feeling we'll stop offering it for free. But for now, I mean, it's the way to go.
Yeah, I think it just took somebody to hop on board, like you said, with Clayton, and get the ball rolling, and then having some other guys jump on, like John Burr's close to me, so I see what John's doing with the juniors there, and he gets a good turnout, and it just continuing to grow. Sometimes it just takes a kid to see that another somebody at his age is out there playing a game, and then it gets going. I also think that just as the ACL as a whole, there's some junior players that are really good. So if they're even catching something on YouTube or a Facebook Live or some sort of stream for the ACL events and seeing some of the junior players there, maybe it entices these guys to look for local clubs or finding a way to to throw some bags. So I think as a whole, especially here in Canada, we're really starting to see it boom, but there's a lot of different avenues that could help the junior program or help cornhole be recognized as somewhere where a junior can play.
Yeah, and even like just my Facebook feed from this past weekend and say early this week, Keaton's regional in Oshawa. Owen Boggs won first in competitive singles. And then you look over at the Dirty Birds League, and they're getting more and more of the teenage juniors coming out. So you have
Yep.
Vivian and Hannah, who Hannah won Tier 1 the last 2 weeks. And I mean, I haven't seen her at any big events, but obviously she can throw. Vivian, I mean, you've seen Vivian out at your events as well. So
Yep.
we're getting that age group, that 14 to 16, 17 age, right?
Sort of the high
Uh,
school kind of.
yes, the high school, exactly. So, Clayton's high school program still is a thing. About a month ago, they ran a high school tournament. There's going to be an OFSA this year for cornhole. Like, this is as more schools, but unfortunately, fortunately, we're still in the growing stage. So, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to get people to run these events, right? I mean, we were lucky to have Clayton and his crew do that, and to do it in other areas as well. It's just, I mean, it's a lot of effort.
Yeah. Someone, like you said, someone had to step up and get it going. So, obviously, with the results we're talking about here and the programs we just mentioned, with some of these guys really getting that junior stuff going, we're going to continue to see the growth in the junior program. And I don't even think we're even remotely close to seeing the growth period for cornhole here in Canada. So we're still on a big upward trend, I believe. And, it's only going to continue to grow. And hopefully with the growth, we keep that junior program moving along.
Yeah, I can't see it slowing down, that's for sure. I think the train's rumbling along the tracks.
Is that like a jumbo reference for St. Thomas or what?
Yeah. Did you watch the hockey game last night?
I had a cornhole, but when I got home, I watched the last about 15 minutes of the third.
I think that's the first time probably Marchand and Marner have ever been cheered so loudly in.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Is your daughter, I believe, is saying hi to you, because that is not my kid.
Yeah.
Arabella,
Maybe it is.
hi, Dad.
Oh, she's watching the stream there.
Oh, of course. See, we have fans everywhere. Another thing I want to shout out Stefan Croto. He was my doubles partner for the swap. Him and I were both in Tier 2 after I went 0-4 in the swap. It was a bit of a rough go. I figured it out. We managed to finish third. I had a great time throwing him back to him. We almost had that last game, even a couple of strong players from Quebec. It was real close, but I had an absolute pleasure throwing with him. And I had an absolute pleasure being around all the players from Quebec. These are guys that I talk to online a fair bit, like in DMs or whatever. I try to keep my finger or my thumb on the pulse of Quebec cornhole, just so I have an idea what's going on, so I can see what new players are coming up, what juniors, what women, etc. So it was nice to talk to Steph and to play with them. It was a really good time.
Oh, that's good. I had a good time last year in Drummondville. Obviously couldn't make it this year, but I think just as a community, the whole community of cornhole in Canada, it's relatively pretty good group of people. So, not surprised that everyone would have had a good time in Drummondville. The question I have, though,
Yes.
is, did Jude get chicken wings at, I believe it's called La Cage?
Right, La Cage. That's where we went last year.
Yeah.
He did not.
Ooh.
I know. So it's tough. Obviously I have ACL responsibilities while I'm at events, social media stuff, etc. And we got caught up with that a little bit. We did have a delicious poutine, which Drummondville is the birthplace of the poutine. So, in Drummondville, it's obviously, your cheese curds and your poutine sauce, not the gravy. It's slightly different.
Not the gravy? Okay.
It's delicious.
Okay.
Jude and Nine couldn't finish theirs, and both of them finished theirs the next day. And I've never heard of anyone eating a leftover poutine, and we had two two guys doing it.
All right. I mean, it's not chicken wings, but
Yeah,
we'll
and
be all
so
right with
and
that,
I
I
mean,
guess.
I did have some chicken wings on site.
Yeah.
So check out these delicious chicken wing octane sparks.
Nice.
So as most people know, Winging It is the jersey sponsor for ACL Canada this season. You know, there's a big Winging It logo right across the chest, not unlike Bush Beans in the States, right? So we were doing a bit of social media stuff for that. I had some players throwing bags, eating hot wings. So we'll get some of that, get some posts of that out.
Imagine that was pretty fun.
It was pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Some of it was funnier than others, but I might have lied to Daniel Faulkner about the heat of the wing that I gave him. So he already knew that we were lying, but still, maybe in the back of his head, oh, maybe these guys are just telling me the truth. But he knew definitely. So after he ate the wing, I mean, Glenn McFarland and Kim, you know, they brought me the sauces and I mixed them up. But the one sauce they handed me, wrapped in paper towel, and said, "Do not get this in your eyes. You will have to go to the hospital."
I like it. No, I don't. No, I don't.
So only two guys ate that wing, and only one willing.
Ooh.
And then Glenn was right there when Faulkner finished, and I said that we had lied to him, and Glenn looked at me dead ass, and he said, "That's not good." And I said, "No, we owed him one because he ghosted us for a while, so we had to pay him back." But
Okay.
yeah, no, he definitely felt it. He did not finish the whole wing. And I think Carl threw the 4 bags the best of everyone while they were eating the hot wing. And Carl's was only regular hot. I had 3 different hot, was the mildest one I had. Carl had one of those, and I think he's more of a ranch, a salt and pepper with ranch type guy.
Maybe a little honey garlic action.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, he was
All right.
definitely sweating just from that one. No, it was super fun. The cage, yeah. You know what? Me and Jude made a deeper run as well in doubles. We finished 5th in tier 3 doubles, which was fun. We got beat out in the end by I forget. The last game wasn't a great game, so it's easy to forget those ones.
Yep.
Because I was thinking we could go there, but alas,
Didn't happen.
no. What do you have going on
So
this weekend?
what I'm gathering
What's
is
that?
what I'm gathering is that you owe Jew chicken wings. That's what I'm.
Oh God, probably. I owe a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff. Well, to be truthful, he owes me $30 for Roblox still.
Oh,
So
okay.
he actually owes me.
Okay.
Your daughter just said, "Love you, Dad."
Okay, great. Thank you.
So
Hi, Arabella.
we have a huge fan in Arabella Forbes, which is fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
What do we got on tap this weekend?
Yeah, what are you playing? Are you playing this weekend?
No. Not playing this weekend.
You played in John's blind draw on Monday.
Yeah.
How was that? 3rd place?
Yeah, I played with Steve Pohl. It was good. It was a good little blind draw. Lots of good shooting. So, yeah, it was fun. John seems to run those here and there, so it's good to get down there and play and just mix it up with who you're playing with and who you're playing against. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Feel like I'm starting to get back on track. Just basically learning how to throw the bag completely new with a completely different grip. So,
are you throwing Steve's bags?
No, Steve was okay throwing my Nola bags. So,
there you go.
Yeah. It's getting better. My game's getting a little bit better. I mean, it's not close to what it was, but starting to feel a little bit more normal.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I mean, you'll get it. I mean, obviously, when you're having to make some adjustments to make sure that you're not in pain all the time, you're gonna have to. There's gonna be some learning curves, right?
Yeah. No, it was good.
Hey, you know what?
But
I mean, a good example of that too is Ashton Bennett, right? He was in a cast for about half last season,
Yeah.
and stuff didn't heal the same as it was before, and his whole throw has changed as well.
Yeah. Mine's just the grip. So I used to just hold thumb on top and then like my middle finger and my pointer finger on the bottom of the bag, kind of near the corner.
Yeah.
And then like my the bottom two fingers on my hand off the bag, kind of holding the back end, like holding
Right.
the base of the bag, and I'd load
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beads up, and now I can't do it. So now I'm throwing like thumb on the
Yeah, so
top and then
kind of
all
like
four
this.
fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm throwing bag, thumb, and all four fingers on the bag, and it just feels completely different. It's
Right.
taking me a little bit, just taking me a little bit to get used to it, but it's probably the way I'm going to have to throw. So
Yeah, no, and that's how that's my grip. All four bags, thumb dug into the front of the bag. Not a butterfly, but maybe slightly modified.
yeah, sometimes I dig my thumb in the top, but I don't pull it back or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, no, we have a few events going on this weekend. We got Garden Cities Regional in Niagara Falls at the Badminton Club. Dirty Birds are in Wallaceburg. Alin with Eastern Ontario Cornhole. She's in Toledo. And then we got the Portage Cornhole Club, which is in Portage La Prairie, Manitoba. They have a local tournament there. That'll be their third one this season.
Nice.
Yeah, and then another
Yeah.
announcement today is the boys in Nova Scotia. BJ and his partner there, they got their ACL local directors membership, and they're gonna get going on running an ACL league there. So there'll be 7 provinces now that we have ACL leagues in.
Yeah. Again, just the growth is just going to continue to happen, and it's good to see. And I think we're a long way from the peak still here in Canada.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's built with those local players. It was fun meeting BJ in Drummondville for him to, I remember being where he was, living in Northern Ontario. I was a little bit isolated from the rest of cornhole in Ontario, anyhow. But
Yep.
just playing in my campground and then, finding cornhole on YouTube and then being like, oh, and then finding cornhole events online and you're just like, oh my God, there's this whole world. And then next
Yeah.
thing you know, you're just sucked right in. And
Yeah.
then it's
So happens.
all consuming. Yeah. And for him, just seeing his eyes, him and his partner, taking everything in at their first open, something that you and I have been around a lot of opens now and we take for granted maybe.
Yeah.
But just, stepping back and having a look at all of that, it's awesome. And that's something that, we've all built with, Matt's vision and all of us coming along for the ride. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. We just keep trending in the right way with the game on all levels. Like we talked about the juniors and having the pro events now in Canada and the pro tour and having the extra provinces jump in now with running ACL programs. Again, we're just on an upward trend still, far away from the peak, I believe, and the game's just going to continue to grow here.
Yeah, no, I love it. Then next weekend we have I'm running an event in Midland with Finley. And
Okay.
then we got a big regional coming up in Alberta. So it's next weekend, the Friday and Saturday, 2-day regional. I think it's a blind draw mixer swap or something on the Friday. And then the big events on the Saturday. But they're going to have some pretty good representation from across Western Canada. They got half dozen to 10 of the BC boys going down. They have 4, I think, right now from Sask. So, playing against our pros in Alberta, plus Aaron Giroux, Nick Finkel, some other good players from out that way.
Yeah.
But one name that I want us to watch next weekend is Jonathan Harden. We haven't seen him play any ACL events yet.
Okay.
And so it's tough for us personally, you and I, to gauge it. As far as national play goes, right? Obviously in Saskatchewan, he does very well. He played CCL Nationals last year in BC, did very, very well. But, the only, obviously, very good players in either league. But what I'm saying is all the players that we we see on a regular basis. You know, Dustin, Mike Hofford, Peter Gunn, Ayers, Halford. I want to see how he competes against those guys next weekend. I mean, he's a high PPR guy. So what game does he play? I don't even know. I've never seen him play. But still,
Right.
I mean, if when you have a PPR of 9.5, I mean, you can beat most guys sliding bags in the hole anyhow. But I'm really interested to see how he does next weekend against guys that you and I know.
Yeah, it's kind of like the benchmark for anyone. You start lining up against some of the pros. That's the Pro Tour is one of the most visual things here in Canada that you can follow along with and see through the live feeds and the stream. So seeing somebody like that line up against some of the pros from this season will, you know, give you a judgment on you know, what he's really all about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say that he is gonna be just as good as those guys. But I'm just
Yep.
I'm waiting to see it, and then I'm hoping he continues to play more ACL events because I would love to have more representation from all the provinces that play cornhole.
Right.
And I love having the best players in the league. That's what makes everyone better. It's what makes the league better. So here's hoping he has a great time in Strathmore, and good luck to him and all the participants there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a super tough regional.
Yeah, it'll be an event. We'll have to kind of follow along here on Fan Zone and just check out and see who comes out on top.
Yeah. Are you playing anywhere else this month, or just nothing until your regional on the 1st?
I think I might wait till the 1st.
Yeah.
Trying to just stay off it a little bit. I mean, it's moving in the right direction, but
Yeah, you don't want to screw it up now.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it feels. I don't think I'm gonna play anything. I got family stuff this weekend.
Yeah.
And then next weekend after that kind of rolls right into is it the 1st already? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean after next, yeah.
So
So I've got a few busy weeks ahead. Next Saturday, I'm gonna burn down to Midland. It's close for me, 2.5 hours. Me and Judo go down there, play, come back that night, and then the following week, Jude and I are gonna come down to your regional in St. Thomas.
yep.
And then the week after that, I have my regional in the Sioux. But after that March 8th regional, my next regional isn't until the end of April. So I'm thinking I probably won't play another one in between then, and just kind of take a little break from tournaments. I think it's good to focus on practice sometimes as well. I mean, I also love the tournaments just for the
atmosphere,
the social aspect.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what I'm planning to play yet. Just kind of piecing it together. I do think I'll be off until our regional on the 1st, and then I'd probably like to play something else in the month of March. And then we're kind of we're running kind of the first weekend of every month.
Yeah.
It's kind of how our schedule fell. We have everything booked up until we have our April and our May regionals already booked too. So I guess our May one's not the first weekend; it'll be the second because I'm going to Detroit. But yeah, I'll probably end up playing this stuff around here. Maybe I might venture out. I like to maybe get down to Colbert's or someone else's. Yeah. I play a lot in John's, so maybe it might just be that too. We'll see how it goes. Just how the dates line up, I guess.
Yeah, and then on the 9th, if you wanted to, you have Matt running an event in Hamilton.
Yeah, maybe that's one to check out too. You have the Nomad guys.
Yeah, it's on the Sunday, so that's a nice Sunday tournaments. Don't mind them if they're close, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I think we hit a lot of stuff tonight. I think a few takeaways from this weekend is everyone's getting better, the kids are getting better, and we all have to be on the lookout for them.
I mean, you are getting worse. So we're in trouble.
Especially at opens.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
whatever.
I think we just have to put the bag in the air and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that's it. Left-hand roll bags.
Left-hand roll bags. Listen, I was doing something ridiculous with my throw on Sunday, and then it leaked over to league last night where I throw the bag and then it hits the board and then it flops over to fast side and then kicks left. So there's something going on with my release. I'm just not sure what
Yeah.
it is. It's like, what the hell's going on?
That practice we are just talking about, might want to get on that.
Yeah. And then the next bag I'll throw perfect, and then I'll stop thinking about it, and then the next bag after that will do the same thing. Flip over on the
Yeah,
fast side and kick left off the board.
perfect.
All right, man. We'll have a good one, and we will talk next week.
All right. See you guys.
Sweet. That was good.